felt the breeze through the windows all of a sudden. Like, I really think that physical objects hold energy. You might not be ready to do these things. I'm not telling you to focus on the positives. Focus on all the bad.
I'm so over it. Don't be texting, don't be
Welcome back to the Ladies Always Win podcast. I am your host, Law, Miss Ladies Always Win, and we're back up in this we back up in this biz like we never left on another Wednesday. How you doing? How are the vibes? I'm trying to bring y'all immaculate vibes on a Wednesday morning. I'm filming this on a Sunday evening, but it feels like when I was like a kid and I used to get so much energy like at nighttime. But now I'm like in a studio with big lights and I'm like, oh, it's on and popping. It's on and popping. And I'm trying to put myself in the energy and vibe of just, being in the car or whatever. You clicked on this podcast episode. You probably are doing okay, because today we're talking about how to get over a breakup. But this is also just going to be kind of like a guide to how to just cut somebody off, because you can really apply these things to like a friendship breakup, or just like not talking to like a certain group of people anymore, like anything where you have to remove a person and or people group from your life. This is the podcast episode for you. This is the YouTube video for you, for those of you who are watching on YouTube. Hi, hey, hello. Subscribe, leave a comment. Call the hotline, guys. We have a phone number in the YouTube description box if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening on audio, we keep that in the, what's it called? Show notes. LOL, I'm a podcaster. I know what's going on. Check out the show notes, call in, ask a question. But yeah, so this is going to be about how to get over a breakup. So just a little moment of the empath in me, okay? For if you've stumbled across this piece of content some way, somehow, and you are in a very broken place, my heart is yearning for you. I am praying for you. I feel like you found this piece of content for a reason. And I've been in your shoes where you just do not know how to continue on, how to move on when you're breaking up with somebody, because, it's such a big change in your life. A lot of hurt, a lot of pain comes up, and you just like don't even know like where to start. I'm glad that you're starting here. I'm glad that you're starting with me. I'm glad that you're starting with this podcast and this conversation. And I hope that it just feels like a big warm hug. I hope that it just feels like I'm like your bestie. I'm like your big sis. I am just coming to the day with like warm chocolate chip cookies and this podcast episode. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to feel like a warm hug and warm, fresh baked vegan chocolate chip cookies. So like you can indulge, but like know that they're not bad for you, because yeah, that's what we're doing today. So basically I have 3 main steps for how you're going to do this. And again, you can apply this to friendships. You can apply this to platonic relationships. It's just if you got to cut somebody off. Now, little disclaimer, these are going to be the things that are really going to help you move on. So you might not be ready to do these things. Like, you might hear these 3 things and be like, oh, I don't want to do that. Babe, that's okay. Then this is just not the time for you. Come back to this video, come back to this podcast episode when you are really like, all right, like I'm over this. This needs to be done. These are going to be those things. So just again, a little quick disclaimer of you might hear this and be like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not doing that. It's like, again, you don't have to do it now. But yeah, so this is all about timing. This is a very personal journey. So if you're not ready to do these things, no pressure, but the information is here when you need it. So the first thing that we're going to do, okay, how to get over a breakup, is you are going to remove all triggers, everything, not everything, everything, photos, text messages, sweaters, things that smell like them in your house, the little sticky notes, burn it all. Like, it's gotta go. It's got to go. I told you, these are gonna be the things that are really gonna help you get over this person. And that alone right there, some of y'all should click off. Some of y'all should click off the video, because I know when I used to look up how to get over somebody or how to get over a breakup, I would hear that and like immediately be like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, no, like I want to keep, okay, you're not ready. But there's going to come a time where it's like, yeah, you got to get rid of that shit. And you have to get rid of it for a few reasons. Number one, I'm a big believer that physical objects hold energy. Like, I had a closet that was filled with clothes I did not wear from like years ago. It was just so gross. I never went in there. And I was cleaning out my whole room and like redecorating, but like the closet was just still tucked away with all this weird, old, pent up emotions and energy. When I cleaned out that closet, bro, I just feel like anytime I went into my room after that, it just, I felt the breeze through the windows all of a sudden. Like, it just felt like movement in there. Like, it just felt fresh. It felt new. And I was like, dude, I really think that physical objects hold energy. And if you're trying to get over somebody, having anything that reminds you of them, it is holding on to that old energy of when you were in that relationship, when you were that person that was allowing that behavior. You cannot be expecting to try to move on and having these physical triggers all around you. Because if you're focused on it, you're feeling it. And if you're seeing it, you're focused on it. And if you're focused on it, you're feeling it. So you're seeing these things all the time around you in your house, and it's making you want to text them. It's making you go stalk them on social media. Like, those little bits of time, those little 5 minutes in the day, like, you think it's not doing anything, but that's really how, like, this person will just eat up your mind. Like, it'll just be 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. And they're all caused by these physical triggers, okay? So you got to get rid of all the things. The text messages, their contact, their social media. I know for me, like, if I looked something up in my phone, this person's name just kept popping up. Gotta delete the contact, because it's like, that's just reminding me of you. Like, I don't need it. I don't need it. Get rid of it. Torch it. Have a ceremony with your friends. Like, make it fun. If you got physical things and you got crazy friends that are just down for whatever, have a fucking bonfire with that shit. Throw it on fire. Do a little seance. Play a Beyonce song. I don't know. Like, hold hands. Kumbaya. Make it a thing. Make it cool. Put like new energy with it, you know? But if you don't want to do that and that's not your vibe, put that shit in a box and throw it in the garbage, right? This person was trash. Okay, let the trash take itself out along with his belongings, but we're going to move on. So that's number one, is remove all triggers. Moving on to number two, this is going to seem, the road is dry. Okay, number two, this is going to seem a little bit backwards, okay, but stay with me. I be having my points sometimes. I be having my points, but you got to come along for the ride. Number two is going to be to focus on the negatives. You heard that right, folks. I'm not telling you to focus on the positives. Focus on all the bad shit. Like, remember the things that you hated about this person. Keep those things forefront of mind. Think about all the awful things he did to you, all the awful things he said to you. If you are trying to get over somebody, you need to keep all that negative stuff forefront of mind, so that when you want to text them, it's like, you really want to text somebody back who said X, Y, and Z about you? Like, I'm not saying that you need to hold on to it forever, but use it as a tool to remember why you need to move on. Because one of the hardest times to not go back when you're trying to get over somebody is that first initial period. Because what your brain likes to do is your brain likes to rationalize all the memories as either super good or super bad, and to not kind of like put things in the middle where they really are. So when you first break up with somebody, your brain is going to immediately start thinking of all of the good times, all of the good memories that you had, oh my God, I'm talking to all these guys, but like, when I was with this person, like, they used to always pay attention to me and they used to always do this. And it's like, your brain's going to start making them out to be a lot better than they really are, honestly, kind of making up this little like false thing. When you first break up, the hardest time when you're trying to get over someone is those first initial 3 weeks, right? Because again, your brain is rationalizing and making all the good times. That I honestly think it's useful and a powerful tool if you can just focus on the negatives. Like, think about all the things that you didn't like about this person. If you were settling, if you always wanted to be with somebody tall, but this man was 5'6", be like, bro, you were literally short, and now I get to go find a tall man. Thank goodness. You know what I mean? Like, just think about all the things that you were settling in. Think about the things that they did to you as to why you wanted to break up. Because at least for those first few weeks, so that your brain doesn't trick you into thinking, no, this relationship was only all these good things. Because that's what's going to make you go back. That's what's going to start this very toxic, like, dopamine cycle. We're going to talk about that one time. Like, I got to make a note of that, of doing an episode about how toxic relationships really put your brain on like a dopamine loop. I just put it in like song lyrics. Bro, my lyrics be so therapy coded, and I don't even go to therapy. Like, I went to therapy one time, and this lady really looked at me at the end of the session and was like, I mean, so yeah, like, it kind of seems like you understand what's really going on. I'm like, yeah, I'm a self-aware queen. But anyway, yeah, I just think it could be very powerful to, when you're trying to get over somebody, when you're trying to remember why you don't need this person in your life. Again, it could be a friend, it could be a family member. Remember the negative thing that they did to you that's making you cut them off. Like, put that as their contact name. Put a picture, like, just do something so that when they're trying to make their way back to you, you can remember why you're not speaking to them. Moving on to our last point, number 3 of how to get over someone, is to pour into you, okay? If you just broke up with somebody or you aren't talking to your bestie anymore, 9 out of 10 times you just gained a lot of time, okay? That you were putting into somebody else, that you were putting into a relationship, that you were putting into just another person. And now you're going to have all this free time that you really should put into you. Do the things that you've always wanted to do that are going to make you happy. Like, that is so beneficial for your mental health, to just do the things that you want to do. If they don't make, like, dude, I love cows. I have little cows on my podcast set. When I'm upset, will just go to like a petting thing and hang out with animals. Like, that is my thing. That is what grounds me, and it makes me happy. And I feel like it's just, I used to think things like that were dumb, but it's like taking care of your mental health and just doing things that make you happy and bring you bliss for like no reason. 10 out of 10, I'd recommend. And if you're trying to get over somebody and you're trying to get like over a breakup, you need to focus on yourself. Remember all the things that you used to love to do. Again, if you were with somebody toxic, a lot of times you weren't like allowed. I hate using that word, but you weren't really like allowed to do things when you were with this person. So think about all of those things. Start doing that. Remember the things that you used to always love to do. Find new things that you like to do. Just go try some shit. If you've never painted, go take a paint class. Go take a rock climbing class. Like, I'm trying to take Pilates. I still haven't. That's a whole nother story. But, like, I'm just out here just trying to do new shit. Because, like, why not? I have the time now, right? Right. So, that's number 3, pour into you. So, those are my 3 things for you guys of how to get over a breakup, how to survive a breakup, how to cut somebody out of your life. To wrap it up, it's really 3 things. Remove all triggers, focus on the negative, and pour into you. I hope that this helped you. Again, empathy, love, warm chocolate chip cookie hugs for all of you if you are going through this. If you have a more specific question that you want me to talk about, feel free to call the hotline. I would love to hear from you. And again, if you have not left us a review and you got it this far, girl, you might as well just go ahead and leave a review. If you're watching on YouTube and you made it this far, go ahead and drop a comment. I love you guys so much, and we will be back next Wednesday.